Okay, how's it going? Hey, happy BTF, everyone. Happy Bowtie Friday. Welcome to ETH Denver. So, I think I'm talking for like 20 minutes, but the most important thing, if you have to tell a developer one thing where they should go to learn how to build on Ethereum, tell them to speedrun Ethereum. Speedrunethereum.com is a curriculum that I built after many hours of mentorship sessions, and it teaches you the things that, it teaches you what makes Ethereum powerful. You start by building an NFT, then you build a decentralized staking app, then you build a token vendor. Then as it grades your smart contracts, we start moving you into cohorts where there's a bunch of other builders like you, and you move on to build your own multi-sig wallet, you build a DEX, and then you'll build an SVG NFT, and by that time, you can get hired anywhere, but hopefully, instead of getting hired, you'll go build your own thing and build a cool product on Ethereum. So, if you know developers, if you are a developer, find those Web 2 developers that are interested in getting into the space and tell them to speedrun Ethereum, speedrunethereum.com. All right, that's my full shill. Now we can get in and kind of look at some stuff, now that I got that out of the way. Okay, woo, speedrun Ethereum. Okay, so speedrun Ethereum is centered around Scaffold-ETH. Scaffold-ETH is, I came here in 2018, I came here in 2019, I was building at the hackathon, and I kept finding myself using the same, having to rebuild all these same things, all these tools that I needed to build a dApp, so I put it into a GitHub repo that anybody can fork. And now it's been forked like thousands of times, and there's all sorts of weird stuff built with it, but also it became a starter kit for other starter kits. So if you're looking to build an NFT marketplace or something simple in DeFi, anything advanced, like you can build a ton of stuff with Scaffold-ETH. It's good for onboarding, but it's also works for production apps, and you can build stuff and deploy to production very quickly. It's a good way to rapidly prototype your app. And let me just show just like one quick demo here, if I can get it going. So I'm going to pull up a smart contract. I'm actually going to write some Solidity here. Follow the governor and then write some Solidity. What are we doing? All right, I'm going to just say hello ETH Denver in a contract in a, there we go. Oh. And save and deploy. So this is the loop that you get in with Scaffold-ETH. You're tinkering with your smart contract, you're learning Solidity, you're figuring out exactly how you want your smart contract to work by just making changes here, and then your front end is going to auto-adapt. So if I add, let's add a uint 8 here just to see it happen. If I add a uint 8 public counter, set it equal to 1, oh man, 21, sure. And I deploy that, look what happens over here in your front end. Your front end is going to detect that the smart contract, it uses the ABI, it's going to detect that there's a new uint, and it's going to display it there for us, right? And then let's say, okay, what am I going to do? I want to make a increment function or something. This is the same demo I do all the time, sorry. Let's do a function called increment, right? And we'll make it public, and we'll do counter plus plus. Okay, it's very simple. We're just tinkering around. We're learning how this works. But now that there's a function there, I'm going to get a new button over in my front end. And when I press that button, oh, I need to grab some funds from the faucet. When I press that button, our counter increments. So it allows you to quickly prototype your apps. It allows you to try new things and get prototypes out into the wild quicker and get people using things to see if what's going to work and what's not going to work. Okay. So there's kind of this journey of Austin Griffith that I want to tell, sort of. I came here in 2018 and built Pogs on the blockchain. And I wore a suit. I also wore a bow tie, but I wore a suit. I worked for a company that wouldn't let me open source my materials. And so that was like version 1 Austin. Then version 2, my second form was getting into the blockchain space, becoming a Web3 developer, learning the importance of decentralization and trust minimized platforms. That was my second form. I built things like ETH Build, Scaffold-ETH, Nifty Inc., a handful of tools and just prototypes that people can fork and build things out. But now I'm kind of in my third and final form, and I'm able now to sell my token drops, my governance tokens that were allotted to me for using a lot of platforms like ENS, Uni, GTC. I'm selling my tokens and I'm streaming them to developers, and their job is basically to build generic components, products, and forkable prototypes and tutorials on top of Ethereum using Scaffold-ETH. So once I had the starter kit, then it was like we created an incentivization layer around more people making more starter kits, so it's just more forkable stuff that anybody can come and grab. And if you go check out BuidlGuidl, so BuidlGuidl, that's what we're calling ourselves. It's kind of just like a loose set of developers, and we're just building tons and tons of forkable apps that you can take and extend and use and make something new. And here I am kind of streaming to all these developers. So I wrote a smart contract that lets developers withdraw from their stream. So it's not a stream that flows all the time. It's more like it charges up and then a developer withdraws and then it charges up. And that allows a developer to go work at like 3 different DAOs, but then when they pop in and they help me build something, then they can get into their stream and withdraw some funds. And if I go, I think I did, let's pick one of these guys and I'll show the stream here. How about Isaac? Isaac's probably here in the room somewhere. So what I can do is I can go look at his stream and I can see what he's been up to. And I can see what he's withdrawn and what he's turned in. Oh no, no internet. What about maybe like a tether? I feel like I loaded up these things pretty quickly. Yeah, let's see, let's try one more. I was gonna try to find Mark's. There we go. Let's see if this one loads. No luck, boo. I don't know if I want to switch it. Okay, but anyways, what you would see there if that loaded is a screen of work where he goes to his smart contract and withdraws each time he turns something in. I kind of want this one. So it allows me to not have to manage developers, and it's not a ton of money, but it's like developer UBI. It lets them know, hey, you're doing a great job, keep going, keep building these composable components that will help the rest of the ecosystem. And it keeps them around in the space. They're not exactly full-time yet, and I think that that's kind of the next thing is like we want to make BuidlGuidl version 3 more like a social platform for Web3 developers, and I'd like to pay devs more, so I might have to like figure out how to get some funding somehow, but that'll be next. I'm going to run out of crypto if I spend all my crypto on send it to all other developers. So Scaffold-ETH is a good way to prototype. It's a good way to onboard, and it's a good way to learn Solidity, but then it's going to help you build apps. Then from there, there's tons of other, let me see if I can get Scaffold-ETH. Here's the repo, by the way, if you Google it. If I go to Scaffold-ETH examples in the org, there's going to be hundreds of different branches that other folks have made. Let's see, here's Scaffold-ETH examples. Ooh, it's so slow. Okay. Come on, let's go. I was going to do a live demo where I deploy a smart contract, but I feel like I probably should not do that here. But, so you've got Scaffold-ETH, the tool. You've got the branches from Scaffold-ETH that allow you to fork all these different things. Then you've got the BuidlGuidl, which is an incentivization layer on top of all that, basically UBI to developers that are helping out. And then kind of like the next thing that we're working on is with Owaki, and it's called the Moonshot Collective. So within BuidlGuidl, we're building kind of the widgets and the small little gears. Moonshot Collective is thinking more about product market fit and having, what do other DAOs actually need other than just the things that Austin thinks we should build, and he's YOLOing into the chat, right? So we have managers, we have product market fit guys thinking about making products for real DAOs. And so kind of the pipeline is a builder kind of tinkers with Scaffold-ETH, learns a little bit. Maybe he gets into the BuidlGuidl and I stream in a little UBI. But then if he works out well and he or she is able to deal a lot of damage and build a lot of stuff, then maybe you can get picked up by the Moonshot too. So let's see, what do we have left? How are we doing on time? Let's see, did that stream come up? Still waiting on that stream to load. Okay, so your smart contract is really easy for you to edit right here. It deploys to your front end there, and you tinker around for a while, and then you're like, okay, I've got the contract looking the way I need. There's an example UI that helps you like wire up buttons to your smart contract. There's a bunch of things that are just like really handy. if I were to type in Vitalik.eth right here, it's going to resolve his ENS if we had network. And it's going to give me a nice blocky preview. Nope, it's not. That address input is something that you always find yourself needing when you're building an app, is an address input field. Or USD to ETH, and I can switch between those. Or if I'm on the wrong network with my MetaMask, it will prompt me and switch that. It's just a ton of stuff that you don't probably think about when you're first building your app. You're thinking about like, you know, what's the smart contract going to look like? And you're just going to need to have all those things once you go to production. So use Scaffold-ETH to get onboarded, but also use it to build production apps. I could jump over to Nifty Inc., but I feel like the internet's so slow, I don't probably want to. Oh, here's the stream. So here's this dude's stream, and here's his work log. So his most recent thing is an Alchemy NFT API, and I only know about this because I saw it yesterday, but before that I had never seen this before. So a builder that I never really communicate, I mean, like, we've got on 3 calls before, but we don't communicate regularly. He has this kind of like operating mode where when he has nights and weekends free, he can come in and start learning some more stuff about Ethereum, but also get in here and build. And he took the initiative to build a Scaffold-ETH TypeScript. Oh, these are TypeScript examples. Very cool. A Scaffold-ETH TypeScript Alchemy NFT API. So something that I didn't even really know about, I'm able to, like, as my third form of myself, kind of stream to all these devs to help them kind of be the next Austins and kind of build lots of tools and forkable prototypes. So, Scaffold-ETH. Use Scaffold-ETH. Tell developers to use Scaffold-ETH. It'll help you get your app built quickly. If you are building stuff and you're looking for more funding, you're running out, talk to me, reach out. My DMs are always open. I'm at Austin Griffith on Twitter. Let's see, anything else? Okay, one more time. Are you guys out there? What do you tell a developer who wants to get into Web3? Speed run Ethereum. Tell them to speedrunethereum.com. All right, thank you. Hearts, hearts, hearts. Happy Bow Tie Friday.